Hello and welcome to Free Advice Friday. My name is Carrie Ray Barna for New Shelves. We are here every Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern to talk about publishing, marketing, and the business of being an author. We're so glad you joined us, whether live or on our replay on YouTube. And we do take questions live here. You can join us at newshelves.com/FAF, or you can email in your questions in advance to info at newshelves.com. We save those up, we answer them on Fridays, and then you can watch the replays over on YouTube if you can't join us live. So for everyone here, thank you for joining us. The first question that we have coming in is, do we have any recommendations for cover or interior design services to share? So Annette, that is a great question. We often come across amazing cover designers. We have people that we love for interior design. And so if you go to the New Shelves website, it's newshelves.com. If you go to the New Shelves website, on the resource tab, there is a page called People We Like. And on the People We Like page is a list of cover designers. Um, we've got discount ebook promos, all of that, all our recommendations are in that one easy place. So I will drop the link in the chat today. I will say that I'm seeing more and more for cover design. I am seeing that many companies will do anything. However, companies really seem to be specializing in specific genres. So depending on your genre, I might suggest a different cover. For example, the company Miblart, it's Miblart, does fantastic fantasy design. They do a lot of fantasy kind of sci-fi, and they do an excellent job with it. I am loving them for that. But if you had, let's say, a romance cover, I might suggest Deranged Doctor. Or if you were going for a nonfiction cover, I would probably go with a cover artist named Mila. So it really does depend on what kind of design you're looking for and what your genre is, because while a good designer can work within any genre, most designers have an aesthetic that works best with one or two genres. So just keep that in mind, especially if you're working with a single designer over a design company that might have different designers from different areas. Everyone's kind of got their specialty. So just keep that in mind. I did drop the People We Like link in the chat, and I will try to put it in the YouTube replay as well. Let's see. My publisher wants us to update our keywords using the keyword generator. Do you know how the generator works? Is it hard to figure out? I don't even know what the keyword generator is, but I guess we can all learn something new today. So the keyword generator, I wonder if that's a specific tool. Yeah, I don't know if they are just referencing the keyword generator or if they're using, there's a keywordgenerator.net, which is like a research tool. So I don't know, Eileen, if they're talking about something that is a keyword generator, or if they are talking about this specific tool that's a free tool online. I don't know. So I can't really answer that. If you find out, I'll try to give you more information, because there is a common tool that we use that we recommend here at New Shelves is Publisher Rocket, which is a keyword generation tool, as well as it analyzes competition and all sorts of good things. So that's the keyword tool that I typically use. However, there are multiple keyword tools. There are free and paid keyword tools. So without knowing exactly what it is, if it is keyword generator, as in the website, I wouldn't be able to specify that. It's a little bit too open, I'm afraid. Oh, here we go. We have a website. I'm trusting you that it's a safe website. Okay, yeah, so this is just a keyword tool. I will say that this tool specifically looks like it's more specific for anyone on the call who's watching. It looks like this link is bringing us to SEMrush, SEMrush, and there's a keyword magic tool. So for that tool in particular, it looks like it's more SEO and Google specific, which could be great for again, SEO and Google, it doesn't look like it's book or Amazon specific. So again, it depends on where you're updating these keywords. Are these keywords going onto Amazon where you need to know about their keywords and their algorithms and what helps get books in front of people? Or is this going on, let's say, your website or maybe even Ingram Spark, which is where maybe you have more interaction with Google. It also, in my opinion, depends on, excuse me, is your book fiction or nonfiction? Nonfiction books are much more likely, in my opinion, to be Googled, whereas fiction books are more likely to be found on book sites like Amazon and Goodreads. So there is so much nuance to that. I haven't used this specific tool, so I wouldn't be able to answer that. But it's good to update your keywords every now and then. It's good to use a keyword generator or tool or a competition analyzer. But I do think it is important that when you're thinking about refreshing your keywords, where are you refreshing them and what's your goal? So if we're on Amazon and we're updating our keywords on Amazon with a Google tool, we're probably not going to get the response we need or want. So I'd be looking for more a book or Amazon platform specific tool like Publisher Rocket. So hopefully that helps. Excuse me. I am confused. I heard that bookstores will not accept a book with a company logo on the cover. However, I've seen our competitors with their company logos, which is correct. I have never heard of a bookstore not taking a book because of a company logo. Now, I will say they don't want it to look like a big old advertisement, but it's very, very common for a company logo to be on the back cover of a book, to be inside on the copyright page, and even to be on the spine, for the company logo to be on a spine. That's called a colophon, and that is very, very common. So I've never personally heard of a bookstore not taking a book because of the company logo. Now, if the front cover is nothing, if it looks like an advertisement for the company or something like that, maybe, but that's not something I've really heard about. And then also applies for pricing on the barcode. Some I have seen with the price, while other books do not have the price. So confusing. So Jennifer, the industry standard is that you do need a price specific barcode. Now, keep in mind that a price specific barcode may not have the actual price written out on a barcode. What do I mean by that? That is when you have a price specific barcode. The numbers within the barcode contain your price. Now, some publishers, some cover designers will go a step further and also put the price they'll actually put the price on the book, which is not required. So that is one of those things that you may be running into. I'm not sure without seeing those barcodes, but for the industry, the standard is a price specific barcode for in-store sales. So that's something to kind of remember. And then also for that, sometimes some books will not have a price specific barcode and they'll still get in. Why? Well, it's either an indie store, a small shop where they're making decisions as they go and they may not be using, they don't mind keying in a price essentially. Or it may be that that book is so virally popular that the store owners or the managers are going to carry the book even without a price specific barcode. So that is the case of one of those things where there are always exceptions. Here's the thing, there are always exceptions to the rule. And so sometimes, yes, you're going to see a book in Barnes and Noble that doesn't have a price specific barcode or doesn't have a price on it at all. And again, if it's selling and it's making them money, they're more willing to wiggle on that. However, it is written right on the Barnes and Noble website that a price specific barcode is required as one of the features that they require when they stock a book. So there are exceptions for the exceptions, but the standard is price specific. And that may look like it being in the barcode, or it may look like it being at the top. So it really depends, depending on that specific barcode. I was trying to find one for you. There we go. I will share my screen so that we can look at this. All right, except for I was gonna share my screen so we could look at the price specific barcode, except for it's not a price specific barcode. Oh my goodness. Hang on, give me 1 minute because I don't want to be confusing here. Here we go. Okay. Look, my own website shows up. That's always convenient. All right, I will share this to give you a visual example of what I mean. And we do have a blog on this, which I'll drop in the chat. All right, let me share my screen for this price specific barcode. Here we go. So what do I mean by barcode specific? There we go. All right. So you can see here, this barcode is not price specific because there are zeros here. So because there are zeros here, that's not price specific. But here, because it's got the last 4 digits here, the 15.99, that is the price, is 15.99. So the last 4 digits are going to be your price specific barcode. Some books will just look like this with a price specific barcode. Some books will look like this, and then above it, it may list the genre and also the price. So it may actually have the $ 15.99 or US 15.99, CAD for Canadian with that price. It really depends. But if there is a number here, that's a price specific barcode, even if it doesn't have the price listed elsewhere on the book. So just to clarify, to make sure that we're understanding that you may be seeing a price specific barcode, but not seeing it listed, or they may not have price specific barcode because they are the exception. And that does sometimes happen. So hopefully that clarifies. All right. Yes, for the barcode, is the price related to a specific currency? Yes, it is. The price specific barcode typically is going to be in the currency where your biggest sales happen or where the book is published. Many books will have a US price specific barcode. Now, we've talked about this a little bit before. When using print on demand, you can only have one barcode. So many times you'll see the US price and then, like I said, listed with the price over top, maybe US, Canadian, even UK, and pricing will be there, but the barcode will be coded to US pricing. Now, if it is a larger publisher that is doing multiple print runs for multiple places, they may have a US barcode for their US books and they may have a UK barcode for the UK books. And so it just kind of depends on the publisher if it's an offset print run. But if you're doing print on demand, you're pretty much you're stuck with one. And so most of the time that's going to be the place the book was published or where your largest sales are, which is often in the US, but it really just does depend. No, you don't need to create a different barcode depending on where the book is sold, because most bookstores require a price barcode. So my personal recommendation is that you create your own price barcode and you put that on the book cover that you're using for Ingram Spark, since Ingram Spark is the print on demand retailer or place that is getting your book into Ingram Wholesale, which is selling to retail. So that is what my recommendation is KDP, you can or cannot put a price barcode. That's up to you. But if you are doing a price barcode, I recommend doing it for Ingram Spark. And if you want to know how to create your own price barcode, I do actually have a step-by-step video on YouTube. So it's just youtube.com/New Shelves Books. You can search barcode, but it's one of our most popular videos. So it tends to show up on the front, and I will share that link here in the comments as well. No, Charlotte, that just happened to have a lot of questions. All right. As far as the keyword generator I use, again, I personally prefer to use Publisher Rocket. It used to be known as KDP Rocket, and so that's what I personally use. There are some free resources for keywords as well, as we've already discussed. I won't go into all of that because keywords can be an hour in and of itself, but I will drop a blog from New Shelves that is all about keywords. It also has links to Publisher Rocket and all of the places that I personally like to use. All right, a question from Lynn on Amazon ads is, can you please talk about Amazon's new requirement for custom images and product collection ads? What does that mean and what's the best way to meet this requirement? So the new requirement for a custom image is only for people who are running sponsored brand ads. So a sponsored product ad is typically what you will run when you're marketing a book on Amazon, you're using Amazon ads. A sponsored product ad is for one product or one book. A sponsored brand ad is when you're promoting an entire brand. And to do that, you need a minimum of 3 products. So if, for example, you are an author and you have a big backlist of 20 books or something like that, then for that, if you have 20 books, or even if you just have 3, you would be promoting all 3 of your books in a brand ad. And for that, it used to be that they would auto generate a image that just had your book covers on it, and now they're moving over. Amazon has changed their policy to run those brand ads. You need a custom image. They give you the specs, and then you have to create kind of like an actual ad, an image ad that meets the requirements to run a sponsored brand ad. Now, I will say for the majority of authors, you're not running sponsored brand ads. Most of the time you're running a sponsored product ad. Again, sponsored brand ad requires that you have at least 3 titles to run. And I will say sponsored brand ads tend to be very expensive. Whereas a sponsored product ad, you can sometimes get a click under 40, 50 cents pretty easily. For a sponsored brand ad, you're more likely to pay $1 or more per click. And as we know, those margins are hard to hit and actually win with when you're selling books, which have lower profit margins. So most of you will not be affected by this. Most of you are running sponsored product ads. But if you are running a sponsored brand ad, then updates are coming and you will be required to create a custom image for your brand ads in the future. So that's what that means. Again, that's not going to affect most people. So I wouldn't worry about it too much, especially if you know you're only running ads for a single book at a time. So, you can run multiple ads for different books, but you're not running an ad for multiple books in the same ad. So hopefully that makes sense there. And there have been also for sponsored brand ads in the Amazon ad dashboard, there has been a notification for the last week or two saying that there are some reporting errors and issues, and that is also related to sponsored brand ads, not to the product. So I think what's probably happening, as does happen, is Amazon is doing updates with those brand ads, and as they're doing that, they're running into some kinks and some little hiccups along the way, and so that's why we're seeing so many notifications for that. And it would be nice if it only went out on the accounts that are running those ads, but it doesn't. It goes out to all of those accounts, so hopefully that's not too much of an issue there. Yeah, so if you have a question, I see that we have a question about contacting organizations. If you have that question, please use the Q&A button. That allows me to see it and then answer it and not lose your question. And I am happy to answer that for you. Do you have any thoughts on MeWe as a new social media? I have so many thoughts. I think that social media has Twitter, X as it is now, created this hole, right? First, we had TikTok on the scene, and TikTok was so controversial because of many things, but it's here to stay. I truly believe that it definitely made videos viral again. It took what YouTube had been doing for years and revolutionized it in 60-second increments. And that's not going away. In fact, we're seeing viral videos trending on all social media platforms now. So we had that happen with TikTok. Then we had the Twitter X things happen. A lot of people left. the algorithms changed. It's just in a different place than it was. And that kind of created this black hole in the social media landscape. Some people are still using Twitter, X, but a lot of people have moved on. Some people have moved on to Threads, which is an extension of Instagram that is more Twitter-like. Some people have been using Blue Sky. Some people are using MeWe, I think was kind of like an alternate to Facebook at one point. There are, so Mastodon was one that was Twitter like. Here's my opinion. A lot of those platforms tried to fill that hole. They saw an opportunity and they tried to fill it, and they had a chance, but they didn't take off. I do not think that Mastodon, that MeWe, or any of those is really going to take off in any large, meaningful way. I think that they have some opportunity to connect with people, but what I'm hearing from most people is, yeah, I'm on this and I'm on that, but I can't get rid of my Facebook, or I can't get rid of this because I still have too many people who are not on this new platform. So that is what makes the difference, in my opinion, of social media that's going to stick around and one that doesn't, and one that serves our overall purposes and one that doesn't. Is if some people are there, but not enough for you to leave other social media, then it's not, in my opinion, going to be a strong marketing platform for you moving forward. Because if people are going over, or a lot of people are joining it, then that makes sense. But when you only have little pockets of people, you're going to have to do work 5 times over to hit 5 different little social media platforms in addition to the larger platforms. And the whole point of most of these smaller platforms was to leave the larger platforms, and that's not really happening. So I don't think that that is, I don't think that's going to take off. I personally do not have an account. I would not put my time there. If it was me, the platforms that I think are here to stay and are going to be growing over 2024, the platforms, Facebook is here to stay. Sorry, friends, but it is, like it or not. Too many people are on it. TikTok is continuing to grow. Now, we know that TikTok tends to draw to a younger crowd, typically the 14 and up. And then there's a sector of women or female identifying people who are on TikTok from roughly ages of 30 to 50 is a big group right there, 30 to 50. And then the younger teenagers are on TikTok. So I think TikTok is definitely one that's going to stick around. YouTube is classic. It's not going away. They are trying to bring shorts in, which is kind of trying to compete with TikTok while also having that long form that they've always had. Twitter, I think, is, we've seen it for a while. I think Twitter X is dying out. People are still using it. People are still using it, but I think we're going to see more and more people step away from Twitter or pay less attention to it. I got a notification the other day about it, and I realized I have not checked my notifications in a really long time because I'm just not active there anymore. Threads is up and coming. I think Threads has a really good chance of taking off. Will it be exactly like Twitter? No. I do think some people might find it slightly redundant. It's like a Twitter, Facebook, Instagram mashup, in my opinion. And I do think it is going to take off. Some people will find it slightly redundant. So I do think that people who are very active on Threads will become less active on either Facebook or Instagram. But I do think Threads is pretty much sticking here to hang out. And then Instagram is still huge for those, especially anyone doing visual art, poetry. Very, very popular for fantasy, sci-fi, things that lend themselves to cosplay or photos and cooking. Lots of Instagram, I think, is here to stay. And then LinkedIn is the classic business platform, and I think it'll stay that way. I know people are kind of using some other platforms, but LinkedIn, I think, is a strong foothold. Blue Sky, I'm still kind of out on. People use it, like it, but not enough people use it to make it huge, in my opinion. It's a little bit like Clubhouse. Clubhouse was super popular for a while, and people still use Clubhouse, but it has faded way back. You don't hear about it as much. So people who love that platform have found little groups there, but I think they found groups that support what they're doing, and it's more of community building. I don't think it's as much marketing aspects. So I think that's one of those things. Yeah. Blue Sky is one of the ones I just mentioned. So I think that Blue Sky is out there and some people are moving it. Do I think it'll take over and be the next big thing? I personally do not, but I I could be wrong. It happens occasionally, so we'll see in the future if that is where it goes. But those are kind of my opinions. If I was putting time into social media for, not for personal. Personal, you go where your personal people are, right? That's why so many people are still on Facebook. But for marketing, those are the platforms I'd be looking at. And you don't have to do every platform. It really is dependent on who is your ideal reader, where do they hang out, you have to look at the statistics and see which ones are most likely to have your readership on them. If you're going to market in a meaningful way, you don't go you don't go to a place that's not fit for that market and start talking about it. I don't go to a college and start talking about preschool books because it's not going to make sense. I can't go to LinkedIn and start talking about my young adult fantasy. It's not going to work very well for me. I mean, I can do it, but it's not going to be effective. Yes. Do you have some tips on how to rebuild a platform and re-engage your audience other than video or YouTube? I think that if you are going to rebuild a platform, if you're already on that platform, just start being consistent again, not only posting, but also interacting. So many of these social media platforms are now based on interaction algorithms as much as anything else. So you have to be watching, commenting, liking other people's posts as well as posting your own content. If you are rebuilding a platform, if you have no platform, first think of your audience, think of where they are hanging out online. Go to that platform, learn how to use it, and then be consistent with that one platform. Post every day. It could be a video, it could be a photo. You don't have to create all of your content. This is really important. Not everything New Shelves posts is a original blog or video. We share content from other people who are doing great things. Sometimes it's funny memes from Good Librarian, or sometimes it's a great article from Jane Friedman. You can share other content that fits for your audience. It's not stealing it, it's actually helping that other person, in fact. You can share that as well as sprinkle in your own content and then be active. Comment, post, interact with your audience. It's the same as going to a coffee shop. You don't go to a coffee shop to meet a friend and, walk up to them and just not say anything. Don't talk to them. They say, "Hey, how are you doing?" And you don't respond. That's not how we interact. And we don't want to do that in social media either. It is really about the give and take and interaction. Discord has been around. I just cracked. Discord has been around for a long time. Discord has traditionally often been used for video gaming and gaming communities. So you'll see that a lot. I know that Jane Friedman uses a Discord chat, and it's kind of like the still in play forum is kind of what it is. So I think that you can build there, you can find communities. I think that Discord tends to be for people who are on their computers often. I will say this, I'm not saying that you can't do things from your phone, but I think that Discord tends to play into the people who are sitting at computers. And often, again, gamers. So if that's kind of your demographic or audience, and then again, go, if you're curious about it, I always say claim an account. Get your name out there, claim an account, go check it out, see what you find, see what people are talking about on there, and see if you think it ties into your platform, your audience, and your book. If so, maybe it's something you really like and want to put your time into. If not, hey, you still have your name out there. You've claimed your account. You don't have to be active. And I think that's one of the things is we feel like if I create an account, I've committed. Like I created an account, now I have to do this thing. And that's not the truth. Create an account everywhere. Claim your name everywhere. So no one else can claim it. But put your name out there, claim it everywhere, check it out. If you like it, fantastic. If you don't, and it's not necessary for your marketing, okay, well, you tried it, move on. Don't be afraid to do that. You did not marry the platform because you created an account. It's like saying hello. So don't be afraid to kind of play around with that a little bit. All right. I know we have this question about organization, so I want to get that one from Charlotte. Producing a book in translation by a Ukrainian author who is well known in his country and has a great following on Twitter. How do we pitch organizations, embassies, bookstores who might be interested in supporting this author? So that's a really good question. I think that is one of those things where it's going to be a lot of pitching. So first off, you want to kind of build in to your pitch why this book is a good fit for that bookstore, why it's a good fit for that organization, because all of these places are businesses. So it's not enough to say, I have this great book and it's amazing. You should check it out. Some people will, but a lot of people won't. But if you say, I have this amazing book by a well known Ukrainian author, I know that you have a program that deals with international studies, or you have a program that ties into what they write about or what their platform is for. That is how you pitch. It's the same as if we're working with media, if we're trying to get a podcast or something like that. We're doing the same thing. And typically, yes, you can go to large organizations, you can go to the director, you can go to HR, depending on the book, but you will have much more success if you go to individuals making buying decisions. So for a university, for example, go find a class that could tie this book into, and then go to that professor and pitch that professor to see if they will put the book on their syllabus. Go to the libraries. Again, I know that diverse titles are important to you. This is a Ukrainian author who's well known. They're writing about this, and I think that it could do very well and give your library something that it's lacking. So you have to find kind of their pain point or how your book fits in to what they are doing. And then that's how you pitch it. And again, you go to individual libraries. A lot of them have online submissions that you can do, or emailing them. If it's a bookstore, you can submit to the chain bookstores. There's one form you can do to get in mass distribution from them. Barnes and Noble has one, Books a Million has one, and you can fill that out. You can also go to individual stores, but they are going to want to know how this book benefits them and how or why it's going to sell. Yes, you might occasionally get someone who goes, yeah, I'd really like to support that effort. It's a good thing. But more often than not, these book buyers, these managers, their actual job depends on them stocking books that sell. So you have to convince them how or why the book will sell and why it's a good fit for their market. And that's what's really, really important. Now, if you are talking about organizations or universities in particular, I do think this is an opportunity to not only pitch the book, but possibly a Zoom hour or some type of supporting material. So you may say, this is the book, this is why you need it. And just to sweeten that a little bit, for organizations that do buy 100 copies or more, we do offer a bulk discount, and you get an hour Zoom with the author to discuss for a book club or something along those lines. So that can be a way to actually sweeten the deal and give them more incentive, especially in an organization or teaching atmosphere. Yeah, exactly. Find the buyer. Exactly. You have got it. And as far as those, yes, there are some kind of general templates. And I do believe if you go to newshelves.com and go to our store, we have, for sure, I have a library template that's free to download, and you can get that there. But really, the basics are, hey, this is who I am, and this is why you need this book. You do absolutely want a one sheet for the book. Make sure you have a one sheet which has all the basic details of the book on one sheet. So it's going to have the book cover, the title, the author name, the ISBN, and where they can buy the book, all those things. Again, there is a template on the New Shelves website. I think it's $4, and you're welcome to use that. You can search online and find one sheets, but you definitely want a one sheet when you are pitching a book. And you did ask a little bit about follow-up and timeline. Just keep in mind that pitching is usually a bit of a slow process. You typically are going to pitch, you're going to wait 2 weeks, and then you're going to follow up, but you can't follow up and just say, did you get my pitch? It's a follow up with, hey, John, it's been a couple of weeks since I reached out. This book or this person just got this amazing accolade from here. I wanted to just show that to you, see if you had any more questions. If you do, let me know. So when you're reaching out, make sure that it's not just, hey, I'm still here. Did you get my email? Give them something new to think about. Let them know, have a reason, and always do not pressure them. They're busy people. Thank them. It's been a couple of weeks. I just wanted to make sure you didn't have any questions. I do have a sample PDF I'm happy to send you. And a little trick that I use is that when pitching, it is really helpful if you end an email on a question, because as humans, our gut instinct is to respond. So if you end that email with, hey, John, checking up. I know it's been a couple of weeks. I was wondering if I could send you a PDF copy of the book for you to review. Ended on a question, people are more likely to respond because it's just in our nature. Absolutely. Let's see, where can you find beta readers who are your people and will keep your manuscript confidential? What incentive should we give to get them to cooperate? That's a good question, honey. So there are beta readers are people who are going to read your book after it's been fully finished, typically. And they're going to be typically people who enjoy your genre. It's after you've already done your first draft, it's done, you've kind of self-reviewed it, and now you're ready for reader feedback. Beta readers can be free or paid. If it's a paid beta reader, then it's very smart to have a simple contract with confidentiality on it. So of course, you're still trusting people, but when you have payment and a contract involved, it just kind of strengthens that. So of course you can watermark your files and things like that, but having some type of simple agreement with payment changes the game a little bit, because now it's a transaction. The other thing that I will say is that if you are looking for beta readers and they're free beta readers, could someone spill the beans? They sure could. Now, typically people don't do this. Typically people are wonderful. There are a couple of ways that you can safeguard your files. You can do something like using BookFunnel for delivery, because BookFunnel tracks a file, who it's being delivered to, when it's being delivered. So if it is leaked, you would know. Pretty much it'd be a small pool. So that's one thing that you can do. The other thing you can do is, if they're a free beta reader, they may be resistant to signing any type of confidentiality agreement. So you can try, they may resist it. You could put it up like on BookFunnel with a simple thing, having the book, the description that also says, by downloading this, you agree to keep XYZ title, copyright by author name, confidential, and not release it to anyone else. Again, these things are, it's kind of like a warning. However, if people are going to share it, they're going to share it. Most people are good. Most people are amazing. But there are some crappy people out there. And if they're going to be that kind of person, they will. And copyright agreements, they're only as good as you uphold them. So I think it's one of those things that it's good to have in place. However, if someone breaks that confidentiality, you actually have to be willing and able to pursue action after that. So just keep that in mind, that those things can safeguard. They're a warning. They make clear terms, but they are typically only upheld if you uphold them should something happen. It's always a risk you take. I do think that, again, having copyright, having, proof, one of the things that many people do to kind of establish that this is theirs in copyright is they will email themselves a copy of the manuscript to establish the date of when it was there and whose it was. They will do it to a friend sometimes. There are different things that people do. So it's a little bit of just being smart and setting yourself up. And it's a little bit of taking a risk, because I have the same question come to me. Well, how do I know an agent won't steal my manuscript when I pitch it to them? How do I know? People have asked me, how do I know you're not going to take my manuscript? and run it as your own. And the only response I have is for people in the industry who have a career, agents, myself, people like that. Our reputation is our business. And so if we are stealing work and publishing it as our own, we have a lot to lose. And most people are not dumb enough to do that. There are some who have done it, and they have, in almost all cases, gotten caught. So it is a little bit of a risk, but you can't win if you don't risk a little. So I think that's kind of one of the things you have to decide and temper within your own bounds, what you're comfortable with, and if you want free options or paid options, and then go from there. Oh, and as far as where to find beta readers, there are places like Reedsy that do that. There are companies like publishing companies that will do that. A great place to find beta readers is actually going to be in either author groups where you're swapping with another author, which also does, by the way, kind of even the playing field, all beta readers if you beta read mine. And then that way you both have the same risk involved. So that's one way that you may see it. And then also just reader groups. Make sure you follow the rules of the reader group. Some of them will say you can't ask or there's no promotion, but some of them will allow you to ask for beta readers. And you can find them there because if you have a fantasy novel and you're in a fantasy group, those are probably your people. Those are probably the people that are going to enjoy it. And make sure you're very clear with your description and your tropes. So let people know what they're getting in this book so they can decide whether or not it's right for them. You don't want someone who hates rom-coms to beta read your rom-com because they're going to be like, this is stupid. This isn't even funny. This, and meanwhile, your rom-com reader is going to be like, oh, it's so cute. It's funny. I love it. And so having the right beta reader for the right book is also important. And I do recommend having multiple beta readers for that reason as well. Because sometimes someone will have a wildly different opinion and then other people, you might have one outlier and then five people are like, no, I really like that scene. And one person, it was terrible. I hated it. Well, you typically want to go with a majority, but, make sure you're getting a wider perspective there. Yes. The saying beta readers. I've had good luck asking for friends and writing group partners to think about their friends, people I don't know, but also have a trust through extension who might be a good beta reader for my memoir genre. And that's been quite fruitful with no issues. Yes, finding a friend of a friend can often be helpful. Joining a local writers group, you guys, almost everywhere has a local in-person writers group, whether it be through the library or it be like local organizations. There's a lot of writing organizations in big cities and things like that. There are online writer swap groups and critique groups. So having someone who can be objective with you, I think that's one of the biggest things is people always go, well, my sister read it and she loved it. And I'm like, oh, your sister has to sit next to you at Thanksgiving. And so of course she did. Now, sometimes we have family members who can be honest, but sometimes it's too close and it's not worth it. So either they're too critical or they're just, oh yeah, it's great. It's great. And I always tell people when I work with authors and I'm giving them feedback on something, I always tell them, I mean, I let them know, I'm going to praise what you do well, but I will call out anything I see an issue with, I have concerns about, because my job is to make sure that this book is as marketable as it can be. And sometimes there are hard truths. I have made authors cry. Um, and it's not because I'm a terrible, mean person, but sometimes feedback is hard. And sometimes, you get to the end of a book and you manuscript and you've written it and you're like, it's done. And then someone comes in and they're like, you're missing like 2 chapters. Like, where's the end? And that's frustrating. But that is how we get better. And that is what your reader may be and having some outside experience. Now, again, I will say this is where it's helpful to have multiple beta readers because that may be an outlier who didn't like your genre or who didn't get it. But having more than one person give perspective can be really important for that. I have not seen the new Mean Girls movie. I've seen the old one. It is a favorite. But I don't think I own any pink, so I'll have to fix that, Dave. All right, you guys. Well, we're right at the end of our time here, and I promised you guys a in-person, well, not in-person, a live Zoom networking event. And I want to honor that. And I've got until 11:30, so I've got about 40 minutes. Let me grab the Zoom link for that. For anyone who's hopping off, thank you for joining us today on Free Advice Friday. We enjoyed having you. But for anyone who would like to stick around and would like to hang out with us on Zoom, where you can actually see us, then you are welcome to join us. I'm going to drop that Zoom link in. Whoops, if I can find my Zoom link. Absolutely. All right. For anyone who wants to join us on our live call, we are going to go to it right now. I'm dropping the Zoom link in right now. I will give everyone a minute to click on it. You're going to go on the meeting's not going to be started because it's not started because I'm not there yet. So I'll give everyone a minute. If you guys could give me a thumbs up as I start to see people leaving, I'm going to go over to that group. I'll be there in just a minute. Know that your camera and your microphone may be on. So whatever that means to you, for anyone not able to join us, thank you so much for joining us here on Free Advice Friday today. We'll be back next Friday, normal time, normal place. It'll be all on Zoom here. So we hope you join us. Thank you for being here today. And everyone who can join us, I'll see you over in the other Zoom room.